And then, I mean, I'm aware of like what's kind of going on. I've put up some pretty strong, I don't know what happened out there because I wasn't out there for any of that, so I don't know. I assume it wasn't positive for her, but I didn't ask anybody. I don't even want to, I didn't even ask. I don't know.
You don't want to know?
No, I do, but
Okay.
I don't know any of it.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on, who's pointing fingers, and whatever. But I have put up some pretty good protective walls for you. Dick came at me last night, asked me, what's going on, how's my voting? He's like, I don't care if I have your vote or not. And Joe also took me into the hammock and was like, I'll make a deal with you to keep me. In the overall game plan in my chess game right now, I'm willing to listen but I cannot figure out any possible way to keep Joe in the game at this point. I'll tell you why. I know that Dick is coming at you, let me rephrase that. I know Dick is definitely going at Cale, and you're just there by default, and I've been covering your tracks with him pretty well, where he thinks that you're voting against him, and I've been reassuring that there's just no way that you would do that because you hate Joe more than you hate Dick. And the only reason you're fearing Dick is because he's threatening you. And that's what I've been playing with. And I'm like, I think you got Mike kind of pegged wrong. I think, yeah, they hang out, but not as a vote for you. He just doesn't like Joe as much as he doesn't like you. So, and he's like, well, I had him pegged wrong then. And I'm like, so I'm just letting you know that depending on how the four of us get together and make votes or whatever's happening or whatever, that you have an alibi that I've created for you if you were to vote to keep Dick in the game. So you have a little bit of substance that exists if you choose to want that. I'm trying to keep as much of the structure of us together as possible by not being around everyone as possible. I fear that if Joe stays in the game, there's going to be major... I fear that if Joe stays in the game, the four of us will not exist. I know that very vividly. The way that Nick tells me things in that collective of friends, I know Nick is trusted, and he's still definitely with us. I know that. I don't question that whatsoever. He's really divulged some pretty good stuff for me, as well as the group. I feel like Cale's digging her own hole, and I don't know I don't know what I can do to keep her afloat other than one of the four of us or Jen getting HOH. Jen is aware that the four of us are kind of together, and I don't like that. And I don't know if you or her, or I'm sorry, Cale, has divulged that information to her, but Jen knows. And that's bad.
She's a smart girl. She figured it out.
And that's bad. Really bad. Because Jen doesn't really keep things to herself very vividly. And I think that...
And you know that why?
I just know. I've seen it. I mean, I know that she won't, like, there's sides, and that's okay, but and I don't mean this I mean this strictly in an observational way. I mean, she seems to be able to contain the game better than Cale does, and that bothers me. Like, I'm really concerned with her. I'm not gonna stray from you guys. I'm not doing that. I don't want to, and I won't. I give you my word on that for sure as a person, but her tactics in which to try and convey information to me has got to stop, or I'm going to really, really ignore her for a while, because it's really putting me in a bad position that I don't want to be in the game. So I'd rather have you come at me with information that she wants to give to me, or you go to Nick and have Nick pass it to me. She'll like be like, blah, 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 and then somebody will walk right by, and I'm like, if you want to do it, you pull me in here or whatever. If you want to talk to me, pull me in the hammock. People are doing that left and right to me anyway. Joe did it to me. Jen's done it to me. Amber's done it to me last night. Dick did it to me yesterday night. I mean, these whispering things, they've got to stop. I know how you I mean, if I'm under the impression you want Dick to go, I know that. I think that Cale also, I know Cale wants that. I know you guys feel threatened by Dick because you think that he's going to come after you guys. I feel threatened by Joe because I feel that he's going to really wreck a lot of shit. I feel like he's more of a threat than ever, and that we've got a really good chance at getting rid of him. I think we should do it, and I think we should take the risk that one of the 5 of us will win HOH so that we can take care of the problem. And it's not because I don't think Joe would come after me first. I don't, but I think that he stirs up too much bullshit, and that he might stir up the Mr. and Mrs. Robinson alliance for you guys. I think he might pull some bullshit with Jen. I think that he does that. That's what he does. He likes to open up people's sore spots, and I don't like that in the game.
Well, if you want to touch on people opening up sore spots, you got to take a look at Dick and his tactics and the way he plays the game and how he calls people out. And
he's very direct.
You know what, though? I don't necessarily feel comfortable with Dick in the house based on a couple of different scenarios. One being that he systematically strips dignity from the girls in this house with his sexual comments and his innuendos, and I don't go for that in the house. And the girls are too afraid to stand up for themselves for fear of having to wake up and face him every day and being around him, because he puts everybody in an uncomfortable spot. And
as Joe does as well, I think.
All right.
But in a different position.
Completely different, where he's not or demeaning their character in the way that Dick is. Like, you know, the way it hits me worse because I knew of a girl who had that happen to her with like the little things here and there, like every day, and before she knew it, before she knew it, she's being sexually harassed, you know, and it's not, it doesn't sit well with me. So that's one thing.
No, that makes sense.
Second thing is that Dick flat out said that he is, gunning after Cale and people in her alliance. That's what he said this morning. Okay, it's flat out. He's made it known, Mrs. Robinson alliance. People already, are thinking I'm in an alliance with Cale, and that it's Jen, and that it's you.
Yeah, I know that.
So I don't know for 1 second why you think Dick has your back so strongly.
I don't care about that.
And why you think that your influence on you telling him that, oh, Mike is probably going the other way, why you think for 1 second he's going to believe what you're saying?
Because I'm creating an alibi for you to get out. I'm creating you an out.
You're creating it, but why would he believe you if he already thinks you're in on it?
I'm just creating an out for you. That's it.
Okay, I realize that's what you're doing, but why would he believe that?
I don't know. He doesn't have to.
He wouldn't. That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't have to, but what I'm saying is if you decided to keep him in, then he would see that you did.
So where in our alliance does it make sense to keep him in if he's going after 2 people for our alliance?
Because I think Joe's more of a threat in the overall household for everything. And he's coming for me, and he's going for Cale. I know that.
Jamaica.
And if Jen is part of that, she's by default part of that also.
I mean, I agree with you. Both of them ultimately, in the scheme of things, are going to be after us. But I'm looking at the threat that's at hand.
I don't feel...
Jen, myself, Cale, and you are in immediate danger with Dick and anybody he has influence over right now.
And that's how I feel with Joe, though. I'm in this... I agree with your statement, but that's how I feel exactly with Joe. And I don't like it. I don't like the way that he influences other people and lies about stuff that doesn't exist. I'm a pinnacle. I'm a perfect person for a target for stuff that's said.
Well, if you want to go back to lying,
isn't true.
Nick is not being honest with me. He's not being. This is the second time now today that he was not honest with me. I asked him about who Dick was thinking about putting up if he had HOH, and he goes, "It's not you guys." And I said, "No, then who would it be?" He goes, "Well, I don't know." And I'm like, "Well, let's do the process of elimination. It's not going to be, if it's not any."
Dick told me he'd put Cale up for sure.
Okay, so right there, why doesn't Nick know that?
I didn't even tell him that.